And the IP that seems to be taking the majority of the hits from this season is none other than Sakamoto Days.
So a lot of people are currently upset with the treatment of the Sakamoto Days anime because they feel that it is lacking.
I think I was expecting it to be a lot worse because I saw that everyone pretty much on my social media timeline was very, very disappointed with the animation. So I was like, oh, did they pull a Blue Lock or something like that?
But this past episode with Sakamoto versus Boyle was just fortunately very
The animation was, of course, not at a level that you would say is insane.
Hello my slop piggies, we're talking drama today. Every now and then there's some sort of show that gets dragged over the course of the airing season. Last time we talked it was on the topic of Tower of God and its warranted backlash on the second season. But today we are talking about Sakamoto Days, which in my little opinion is unjustifiably getting a lot of hate right now. So let's just dig into it. The Sakamoto Days anime was a highly anticipated project since the manga is super beloved. It's one of the more promising new gen shonen series publishing right now, and I myself haven't read the series, so I'm coming at this from an anime-only perspective, so take that as you will. To summarize the opening plot of the series, it's about Taro Sakamoto, an ex-assassin that winded up throwing his lifestyle away for one cute convenience store clerk. He ends up marrying her, having a kid, and severely letting himself go. I mean, he's massive now, but he still has the skills as an assassin, although the house rule states that he's not allowed to kill anyone, or his wife will divorce him. The premise is very silly, and off the bat, anime-onlys are comparing it to something like Spy Family or Mob Psycho. You have this dry humor revolved around this underground world of assassins, and Shin is clairvoyant too, to boot. The premise seems very uninspired at first, but as things unravel, the story shifts to a more serious and typical battle shonen, mainly when Slur and the Order are introduced, which is pretty quick in the anime. Now, this quicker pacing in the anime is of course because of some cut content, but other than that, no one seems to have a problem with the story. So what's the issue with the show? Well, as always, people take issue with the show's animation. Some of you are probably watching this footage and are confused about what people can be complaining about, and I'm sorry, but I have no answer for you because to me, the outcry seems unjustified. I'm gonna rip the band-aid off and diagnose this drama for what it is. The main complainers are people with no knowledge on the anime industry and its production, and Sakamoto Days is their favorite manga of all time, and they are spoiled with the context of modern anime adaptations. Every big hitter manga is getting flawless treatment and out of this world's adaptations, so it's leaving people to feel like anything less is bad. Sakamoto Days is my favorite manga, so why isn't it as good as something like Frieren? There are fair criticisms to make towards Sakamoto Days. Hell, I'll list off my gripes with the show later on, but just blindly saying that the animation is bad isn't one. Specifically, what about the visuals are bad? It seems that the big appeal of the series is the interesting fight choreography, and what do you know? The TV anime does a great job at just encapsulating the fun movements and settings that these fights had in the manga. At what point do we just accept that not every show needs to be a Sakuga splooge fest? Sakamoto Days' simple story doesn't need anything more than just a decent 8 out of 10 adaptation. Hell, an 8 out of 10 is still really good. I'm really enjoying how fun the show is so far. There are other aspects to a show other than its animation, and these are just as vital things that need to be focused on. Storyboarding, music, voice acting, pacing, these are all the many things that come together to make the translation from one medium to another seamless. While cut content sucks, it seems like the cut content provided a better pacing overall that will leave viewers and newer anime-onlys like myself more interested in the main plot, as well as give more time to show off the main cast in the beginning. With this being a Netflix original, the dub airs simultaneously, which gives me an opportunity to enjoy a nice dub for once. I usually watch things in sub for convenience as it's the quickest way to see a new show that's airing week to week, but the dub casting is great and they really nail the characters. But back to the drama. I almost don't even want to acknowledge this, but it seems to get brought up all the time. Twitter users will screen grab a frame of an animated show and put it side by side with a manga panel saying, they fumbled to live up to the manga's hype. I hope that anyone with a functioning brain can figure out why this is a flawed argument, but for any Sakamoto Days haters watching this video right now, I'll explain it for you. In an anime, animators work on a workflow of 12 frames per second, meaning 12 unique drawings to make up a single second of animation. When characters or objects are in motion, to create the illusion of life, there's a method called smear frames. That is usually used during in-betweens. It adds more life and fluidity to create motion. This is something as old as, anime watching has been a thing, but think back to when Naruto vs. Pain was the talk of the town. People would say that the smear frames of pain look bad, the art is awful, I can't believe that this aired. There's no pass for quality. Anime is not a picture, it's a video medium. So don't go acting like one frame out of the thousands of drawn ones in each episode have to have the same bar of quality as a singular panel from a manga chapter. And claim that the animation is bad, but provide instances of great practices of animation that you should be glad are in the show. It makes it a lot more enjoyable to watch. Things aren't stationary. And art and animation are two separate things. You can't just choose when both of them are separate things and when to lump them together. But I'm sick of talking this, so let's call the rant there. It looks like I'm defending Sakamoto Days hard, but I have no incentive to. I think it's a fine show, and we should be allowed to just have more series be just fine or good. Personally, it's not my cup of tea, but I don't think it's some abominable thing. It's funny that all these supposed real fans of the series are the ones beefing with the anime the most. While majority of anime only think this is great, you have to have people that have read the source material forcing their opinion onto others, telling you why you should think it's bad. Back in the day, I would have been ecstatic if a series I like got an adaptation this good. It seems like they really are encapsulating the spirit of what makes Sakamoto Days fun. I also think it's great that more series aren't forcing their workers to overkill every single production they work on within the year. I can't tell you how to feel, but if you're a fan of the manga beforehand, maybe you should seek joy in being able to see your favorite characters and story arcs shown in a new life, in a moving medium, with music and sound, and a great cast. I will say though, my only artistic gripe with the show is that its background art can be pretty fugly at times. There are a lot of environments that have either dead space and just a weird mix of texturing where 2D image planes are stretched over the line work instead of just being hand drawn in. I get that it's to save time, but for some places like the convenience store, which is supposed to look run down, I think they just chose it as a sign to be, oh, it's run down, let's just make it ugly. But there's a difference with a visually appealing gross design and something that's just, I don't want to look at. Look at something like Akira or Dorohedoro. All of their settings are trashy and brutalist, but they're still very appealing to look at, whether it's the color design or the attention to detail. I think Sakamoto Days could have gone that route. A lot of the areas look barren, uninhabitable, but in the wrong ways. More just like they're in a ghost town that doesn't have anything going on inside of it. But other than that, the show's been pretty fun, so I'm going to continue to keep tuning in. But yeah, that was just a quick little ranty video that I'm doing in between my next video that I'm working on. So Bleach fans, look out for the Soul Society Part 2 video. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, so I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye!